Hey, soldier!
Yeah, what's going on, Demo Man?
I heard Scarlett Johansson was suing Disney.
Yeah, I heard that too. What's going on?
Well, she is the actress for Black Widow in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the new movie Black Widow was released onto Disney Plus while also arriving on cinema screens.
And how does that revolve around her lawsuit?
Because the film was released onto Disney Plus and in theaters at the same time. This meant that it would lower the millions of dollars that she would receive.
Well, okay, that's not even as insane since their merger with 20th Century Fox.
It's called 20th Century Studios now. But I'm just saying, Disney apologized to Scarlett and agreed to give her the money.
Wait, what? Studios? Are you telling me there was a name change?
Yes, Disney renamed it to avoid association with Fox Corporation.
That doesn't make any sense. That studio was formed from a merger during the Great Depression.
I get that, but Disney just wanted to make better profits that would help them save the studio. Apparently, somebody called Rupert Murdoch, phoned Fox News and other Fox properties. Each of them were named after the studio itself. There had been rumors that they would merge with Disney as well.
Well, why didn't they?
I'm guessing Disney didn't want to buy it from Rupert Murdoch. However, they did purchase Fox Broadcasting Company.
I see. Still, though, I don't blame Disney if they wanted to protect the studio. However, I'm kind of against rebranding.
Don't get me wrong, I've seen fans completely upset and enraged with Disney for the rebrand, up to the point where they refuse to credit Disney for 20th Noir films. That's completely bogus.
Refusal to credit an acquiring company doesn't sound like a good idea, at least to me.
Yeah, what fun is there in that? If you don't credit a company, you could get in some doo-doo.
Oh, Demo Man, you crack me up sometimes.
Thanks, you do too. Get this, though. Have you heard of a film called The Empty Man?
Is it like a horror film? I've always wondered why it sounds so familiar.
Well, here's the thing. The movie was released on October 23rd, 2020, but it was released under the 20th Century Fox brand by accident, as it was filmed back in 2018.
Well, you know what they say. Sometimes accidents can lead to great things.
You're telling me? Brings me back to the good old days. Now back to Scarlett Johansson's lawsuit against Disney.
Okay, so how did the conflict start?
Well, Disney owns Marvel Studios. They had an agreement that the film would be a theatrical film upon its release. This means that the film is only shown on cinema screens for a certain time. However, Disney blatantly violated the contract and snuck the film onto Disney Plus while it came to theaters on the same day. Scarlett was not happy about that, so she took the legal side.
Well, I guess they had that coming.
Of course. The trial went on for a few months until Disney surrendered and apologized. They gave her the promised amount of cash. Black Widow received $60 million on Disney Plus, but only $20 million in theaters. That's why the lawsuit occurred.
Makes sense. If I was an actor in the big films and the studio responsible pulled off that stuff, I'd do the same thing. Disney doesn't make the best decisions sometimes.
But that doesn't make them perfect. No one is perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. I might not agree with everything Disney does, but I still respect them for their movies nonetheless.
Yeah, same. They make pretty good films.
Yeah, I agree. I had fun talking to you, soldier. Take care.
Yeah, you too, Demo Man. I'll see you around. Stay frosty.
Hey everyone, how you guys going?
I'm doing great, Scout. It is good day to hang out.
Yeah, well, how about you, Scout?
I'm actually doing great. Just got done planning a movie date.
Did I hear somebody say the word movie? Those are very entertaining.
Yeah, I really love movies during my time off. Now that you mention it, do you have any favorite movies?
Let's see. Murder on the Orient Express is very great. I love the mystery behind the murder. Sometimes, mystery movies really inspire me to solve crimes.
That's a good one. I really like that one Ninja Turtles movie from 2007. I think it was called TMNT.
Whoa, Medic, are you talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Dude, I love those guys.
Indeed I was. What makes this film very interesting is that it was the first film with the Turtles to be all CGI animated. Not only that, but it's also the very first animated Ninja Turtles film.
Well, cowabunga dudes, so, who's your favorite turtle?
If anyone asks, it's Leonardo. I love the way he remains valiant and courageous. He's also the first of his brothers. He's also always confident even when it comes to fighting Shredder.
Yeah. Did you know the turtles were all named after Renaissance artists?
I never knew that. Thanks, engineer.
Of course, Scout. Anyway, one of my favorite films is Avengers Endgame. I love the way it's put together. Very impressive story. No worries, I ain't spoiling anything.
Thanos very much had it coming. I love Disney's non-live-action remakes of their animated films. My favorite is Beauty and the Beast.
My favorite is The Jungle Book. Just kidding, that really scared me very much. Ironic since nothing had ever scared me before. I like Aladdin. Oh wait, there's a snake staff, isn't there?
While we're on the topic of Disney remakes, I like Cinderella. I hope Disney builds a luxury cruise named after her.
Heavy Lights Night at the museum. It's such a very wacky way of learning history.
Well, that one cracked me up so hard when I saw it in the theater.
Speaking of history, Titanic has a lot of that in there. A lot of facts about the ship weren't included in there. I feel very terrible for all that died the night the ship sank.
Yeah, me too. I mean, there wasn't very much to spoil since we all knew that she hit an iceberg. I don't maiden voyage too.
Very interesting enough, Titanic was the second of 3 Olympic-class ships owned by White Star Line, which had for funnels, just the fourth was used for ventilation and looks.
I always get mixed up whenever I see a ship with funnels. I often mistake those ships for Titanic alone, but with different designs and styles.
I know it's confusing.
Anyways, the medic's right. Each of these ships were built by Harland and Wolff in Belfast, Northern Ireland. White Star Line wanted to compete against Cunard ships, Lusitania and Mauritania.
That's interesting. I really like that one movie, Die Hard. Total holiday classic.
Oh yeah, the one action movie to inspire ongoing action movies.
One of the best.
Almost as amazing as Batman. The good, a protector of Gotham City, the Dark Knight himself.
The Dark Knight. Ooh, classic. Saw that in theaters too.
Heavy likes Batman. He's one of favorite DC Comics characters.
DC, Marvel, who cares? They're both great. Marvel has collaborated with various studios for their films. DC, on the other hand, the rights are done by Warner Bros. Pictures.
Well, not always, Scout.
What about Batman? Have all adaptations been distributed by Warner Bros.?
Most of them. In fact, there is a 1966 adaptation that was distributed by 20th Century Fox.
Oh, well, Demo Man told me Disney rebranded it to 20th Century Studios. Something about brand confusion with Fox Corporation. I don't know when the name change occurred.
It happened on January 17th, 2020.
Hey, Demo Man, good to see you.
Yeah, you too. Just a few weeks ago, me and Soja were having a discussion about Scarlett Johansson's lawsuit against Disney. I have heard about that myself. Gotta be honest, I was shocked by the news. So, what were you guys talking about?
Some of our favorite movies. We're talking about Batman.
Yeah, Batman is one of the best from DC.
Well, speaking of DC, did you know DC stands for Detective Comics?
Oh, I never knew that. You just boggled my mind with facts.
Anytime, Scout. One of my favorite movies is Pirates, Band of Misfits. I cracked up so hard because it reminded me of me at Patch. Which reminds me, it had been a while since we defeated Erasmus.
Yep, it's been years, which makes me wonder, since it's been so long, do you think his magic spells had worn off?
Beats me, I woke up one morning a few days after feeling strange. I didn't know what it was, but I guess we'll find out soon enough.
You got that right.
Anyway, I saw the movie the day it hit theaters. I loved it.
One of my favorite movies, Robots. It's not what you think. It's a pretty different film. It's the second of 13 films produced by Blue Sky Studios.
Second of 13. What's that mean?
Well, Scout, Blue Sky only produced 13 films before Disney shut it down due to concerns of COVID-19.
Wait, shut down. That's sad. They made amazing films.
Yeah, but the films were sometimes very weird and cringeworthy. Still had a lot of hilarious moments and very majestic music.
I like the Peanuts movie, speaking of.
With all the beloved Peanuts characters, but all in CGI. Thought it was convenient when I saw it in theaters. I really like Rio. I love those adorable macabre birds. Not to brag, but I have been to Rio before on vacation.
Speaking of Rio, I've been there too. I was going there on a mission to stop some poachers from selling those types of birds for profit. I somehow followed a full load of birds to the Amazon jungles.
Stop getting me mixed up with brands and everything else. Why does everything have to have more than one thing with more than one name?
Soldier, calm down. It's part of life. Anyway, Sniper, you went to the Amazon jungles. Reminds me of the purchasing app. Yeah, there was so many hyacinth macas. So many I could barely count. Anyway, at one point, I recall they were going to war against an army of poachers. I joined in on the excitement.
Cool, anyway. Another one of my favorite movies. Up. I was watching something about Mythbusters testing the myth out. I was blown away. I decided to watch the movie.
Well, for your information, I do have another favorite. The Scorpion King. Dwayne Johnson is real sick in that film, as in the metaphor.
I heard of that film. It's part of the Mummy franchise. The franchise started in 1999 with the Mummy.
Scary monsters cannot scare me, especially mummies. I know Imhotep wasn't actually a mummy as Universal Studios depicted him. He was actually a real priest in ancient Egypt. He built the pyramids.
I didn't know that. Got to look him up now.
Still, just the thought of being buried alive for thousands of years in toilet paper terrifies me. Wouldn't want to go through that. I've got so much to do.
Don't we all?
Oh yeah, I also am in love with Star Trek. The futuristic adventures in space aboard the USS Enterprise would be a dream come true. My favorite from the franchise is Star Trek Beyond.
Star Trek has many dastardly villains. I guess the same would do for Marvel and DC, as well as all of Hollywood.
I'm not very interested in the villains, just their defeats.
Yeah, same.
Speaking of, James Bond, aka 007, has loads of that. I'm surprised with how many villains he has defeated and killed off throughout cinema history, starting back in 1962.
All of the James Bond movies are great except for No Time to Die.
No spoilers. That is an order.
I would never spoil anything. Spider-Man No Way Home was just released in theaters some time ago. I'm not telling what happens in it. I did see it though.
Spider-Man, he's so amazing.
Well, no, he's kind of cocky for a teenage superhero.
Oh, relax, soldier. Just because he got bit by a spider doesn't mean he's cocky. Plus, his Uncle Ben died.
We all know that, Demo Man. Is that why he wasn't in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Partially soldier. Maybe he never had an Uncle Ben in MCU. Who knows?
Don't bring this up with Tom Holland.
Is that who does Spider-Man in the MCU? Who would have guessed? Yeah, it's been loads of fun talking to you guys about your favorite movies. Hope to do this again sometime.
Yeah, you told Spy.
That was fun.
I'm out. See ya.
Thanks for chatting.
You too, Scout. Now off to test some film-styled experiments. You'll better have not a good day, but a great day.
All right, see you later, everyone. Hey, Spy, how's it going? Oh, goodness, Sniper, I didn't see you there. I'm doing great. I just looked up Imhotep on Wikipedia a few days ago. Turns out Soldier was right about him being a priest. I grew fascinated. Yeah, I'm just mind-blown with those facts. So much for being an ancient evil movie villain.
I have just received word that we are talking about movies again. Let's do it.
No, movies are always fun.
Well, now that you had mentioned it, I would love to talk about movies again. I really like The Martian. I feel bad for Matt Damon being stranded on Mars. Still very uplifting film.
Oh, dude, that's a good one. Matt Damon is a real sport. He's very classic in a lot of movies he appears in. Anyway, just a few years ago, I saw Hidden Figures in cinemas. I loved it.
Very sporting of you, Scout. Did you know these hidden figures were real people? They worked at NASA Industries during the 1960s. Back during black people's struggle against segregation.
Harry has seen the movie on Disney+. Very inspiring. I really like Deadpool. Harry has met Deadpool before.
A very classic profanity-loving killer mutant cancer-fighting vigilante. I can't wait for him to join the Avengers, risk a scum-turned hero, then an X-Men trainee, ex-Force leader, now a promotion.
Whoa, talking about X-Men, I like watching the X-Men film franchise whenever I get bored. Keeps me pumped.
So, who's your favorite X-Men mutant?
Wolverine. Did you know that was Hugh Jackman's very first film acting career? He's also iconic for Broadway musicals.
My favorite is Storm. She can control the weather to defeat even the darkest of villains, as seen when she defeated Toad on the Statue of Liberty, not to be confused with the Mario character.
I like Cyclops. I love how he has the ability to shoot lasers from his eyes. Blows my mind completely.
He's not the only one.
Raya and the Last Dragon is just amazing. Watched it in theaters and eventually on Disney+. Did you know the producers actually worked on the movie during the pandemic?
Yeah, I saw something about it on their YouTube channel.
Hey guys, what's up?
Yo, Rainbow Dash, great to see you.
Yeah, you too, Scout. Just happened to drop by. I couldn't help but overhear a conversation. What you guys discussing?
We are discussing favorite movies. We chatted about that some time ago, but we're doing it again. Care to join?
Oh, sure. I did see Sonic the Hedgehog in theaters on its release date. I had met Sonic in person before. We're close friends. One time, he took me to space. We had so much fun defeating Robotnik. I really like Frozen. Such a very uplifting movie, much about sibling love. I even saw Frozen 2 in theaters.
Same here, Fluttershy. Nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Another one of my favorite movies, Full Metal Jacket. I know it's dark and violent, but I'm with Soldier about military strategy.
Now you're talking.
That film is way too violent, even for me. Give me nightmares at one point. I like fun and uplifting films, one of which is Encanto.
That one song we don't talk about, Bruno, got me enraged. What type of family sings about how much I hate a certain family member? That's the opposite of what family should be.
Yeah, I really didn't like that song either, soldier. That's just downright rude and inconsiderate.
The music was written by the same person who did Mona and Hamilton.
Mona is such a classic. I never thought Dwayne Johnson would appear in an animated movie. Speaking of Dwayne Johnson, I love his Rolling Tooth Fairy. The one cracked me up so hard. I saw it in theaters.
Oh yeah, that one. Almost forgot about that. I'm gonna take care of my dental health and grand wishes.
The Tooth Fairy also gives kids money. I know Mr. Krabs will go nuts for that stuff.
He can't help it. He's loved money all his life.
Howdy, y'all. Movie talking, are we? I like hard-working flicks, like Mission Impossible.
Yeah, though. Tom Cruise is a stunt gore. I loved his work in Top Gun.
He's very awesome in his movies, but wasn't he in that 2017 Mummy movie?
That he was Rainbow Dash. He was. I thought it wasn't all that bad. Just think a female mummy with pupilla duplex. Thought that was something else.
Pupilla duplex is a myth. Demo man, no one can really have two irises and pupils in their eyes.
I get that, but hear me out. The Mummy was intended to be the start of a rebooted Dark Universe franchise by Universal Studios, but it wasn't a big success, so it ended up being the only film.
Speaking of the mummy, I like Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. Never thought there was any such thing as Chinese mummies.
Mummies can be found all over the world. Just hope they're not evil with ancient curses.
Yeah, but just the thought of adventure and tackling off ancient villains would be amazing. I would love to see that on the big screen someday.
We've done it before.
I really also like Skyscraper. It's an action film that gets me going. Just the thought of being in a gigantic skyscraper would be amazing.
Yeah, but when 20th Century Fox criticized Universal for copying from Die Hard.
Not to mention, some people would get acrophobia.
But hey, as long as it's the villains falling to their deaths, it shouldn't be an issue.
Disney bombards their films with that. I mean, seriously, I love it.
Harry likes Tangled. Rapunzel is favorite princess.
Yeah, mine too.
I'm a princess myself.
You're lucky to be, Twilight. Just think. You and your friends get to rule a country after defeating so many evildoers. It's good on you.
Indeed so. Anyway, another one of those classic animated films Applejack did say something about hardworking. So that reminds me of our old pal, Ferdinand. He's very friendly but very buff.
Bah! Ferdinand is so nice, even in his struggle to fight his way home to a little girl.
Yeah, Nina is a sweetheart. She's very lucky to have a close friend such as Ferdinand. That bull may be big, but at least he has a heart of gold.
For a second, I thought you were going to say Heart of the Ocean.
Oh, soldier! One of my favorite movies is Black Panther. He's a very majestic king. I have visited Wakanda before. Yeah, it's just sad that his actor, Chadwick Boseman, died. Yeah, we're so close to middle age. Cancer is a very bad way to go. Good thing Deadpool's standing up to it.
We were just talking about Deadpool not too long ago.
Well, that's convenient. I also like Chicken Little. Just the thought of paranoid anthropomorphic animals gets me the chills. I also like it because it's all animals. I really like The Jungle Book, personally because of the title. I've read the books too.
Well, I personally like the elephants, mainly because they're military. I like the song that goes with their march. Very fitting.
Indeed. The one part in the movie that creeps me out is that bloody python car.
Oh, him. I've encountered him a few times. Those exotic colors in his eyes, it's just, I'd rather not talk about it. It's embarrassing.
That's terrible. No wonder so much of that fan art stuff is on the internet media. It's led up to the point where people turn harmless girls into brainwashed zombie like slaves. I mean, what's with that? Don't get me started on that fembot stuff. There's so much of that on DeviantArt. It's happened to ponies too.
Yeah, along with carrot-cane headbands, spike-at suits. The headbands tend to overwrite someone's brain. On top of that, along Hall of Blue Drones. Humanoid slaves is feature-lacking, but they have hair.
I've heard rumors. I thought that was just a myth.
It is fictional in the real world, soldier. We're all right.
Well, I will admit, it was fun chatting with you guys.
See you, Demo Man.
We gotta go. Equestria needs care. I had fun. See you guys around.
I got apple bucking to do. Hope to catch up.
Time to go and raise money for charity. I need to take care of animals. I had fun. See ya! Oh, and for the record, you should check out Shanghai New.
Will do, Pinky. Gotta build some sentries and dispensers. Oh, come with. Make sure no one tries to zap them.
Ah, Heavy could use both of each.
Off to create my own COVID-19 vaccine.
I hope we can do this again.
Yeah, me too. Keep up the good work.
Oh, nothing like the 4th of July.
Yeah, always fun to hang out with you guys around this time of year. I love the barbecues and fireworks.
Me too. I also love the parades. Those are so much fun. I love when people dress up as Marvel characters and toss out candy.
Soldier cracks heavy up sometimes. I'm actually getting used to this American tradition. It's not the same back in Russia. We have dances over there sometimes.
Dancing is fun. Last I've heard, dancing is also a healthy example of exercise. So is swimming.
My favorite part of Independence Day is the history. Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence. I'll bet Nicolas Cage himself likes this American holiday.
Heavy warmed up to idea after watching Independence Day movie. Inspired Heavy to fight for people across the world. We have to unite as one after all, peacefully.
Oh yeah, I saw that movie in theaters. That's what drove me into becoming a courage-filled machine of war. Hello boys, I'm back.
One of the most iconic lines in cinema history. Did you know there's a sequel that came out 20 years after? We may never know when evil may come to threaten America. That's why I love being a hero.
Me too. America is a great country. Never thought there'd be so much freedom. Warms my heart.
I like the speeches. I also visit Washington, D.C. sometimes whenever I feel like it. I love visiting the Washington Monument.
As much as I love you guys, nothing satisfies me more than spending time with you on the 4th of July.
That was probably one of the most uplifting things I have ever heard you say, Scout. I love spending time with you two. I'm glad we're close friends.
Anyway, how's the RMMV Patriotic?
It's doing great. At this moment, the ship is sending supplies to Ukraine.
Heavy has friend who's from Ukraine. After Russia started attacking, he managed to escape. I suggested he come here for safety. I have told him about the wonders of this country.
From overseas or not, I am happy to be part of this celebration of independence.
Everyone should have their own freedom, regardless of where they come from. What would we do if 1776 had never happened?
I love you guys so much. You're the best friends I could ever have.
Same. You have all inspired me in many ways. What would I ever do without any of you?
You have inspired me too. Heavy, although you're from Russia, I'm happy to call you a friend.
I always intend to be. I speak out and send my support to Ukraine. Heavy does not like violence against other countries.
Happy 4th of July, everyone. Let us celebrate the month of freedom.
Indeed, how about a group hug?
It's been said before, and it'll probably be said again. We all have our differences, but we're friends no matter what.
Well said, soldier.
Hey, Demo Man, can we talk?
Sure, soldier, what's up?
Well, the thing is, I've been thinking about our conversation about Scarlett Johansson suing Disney, and the fact that you did say something about Disney changing 20th Century Fox's name.
Yeah, and your point is?
I'm thinking Fox News tricked Disney into changing the name. 20th Century Fox came first, correct?
That is correct, soldier. Fox News, on the other hand, was established in 1996. During the merger, they formed Fox Corporation as a split of 21st Century Fox.
And when did the merger complete?
Disney successfully purchased 20th Century Fox on March 20th, 2019. The merger included other assets in the studio's family, including Fox Searchlight Pictures, Blue Sky Studios, Regency Enterprises, TSG Entertainment, Turing Entertainment, and of course, National Geographic.
That's a lot of companies. What does TSG stand for?
The Siri Group was created as a replacement for Dune Entertainment. They had collaborated with 20th Century Fox for a selection of non-action films, including Planet of the Apes prequels.
That's interesting. Anyway, I'm thinking Fox News might have been a setup.
What makes you say that, old bear?
Well, because they continue to tell lies via broadcast and news articles. I'm thinking they cheated Fox from the 20th Century Fox Studio brand. This implies that the rebrand shouldn't have happened.
You know what? That is a very good point. Of course, but good, I mean great. Anyway, I think you might be a great detective.
No wonder Heavy has been getting unrelated broadcasts on the news. Fox News is scam for Disney.
I agree. Fox News shouldn't even be a real company. It's because of them we're stuck with some Blender-like production parody.
Yeah, Fox News doesn't even seem to care about anybody else but themselves. It's not Disney's fault. They were just doing what they thought was for the best. Fox News is a straight-up rip-off.
Yeah, it still has those familiar searchlight beacons in their trademark symbol.
That reminds me, it ain't even as cheap as that NASA Studios thing from 1949. I hope the real Zenek sued Edward Nasser for logo infringement, as Disney should have done to Fox News.
Nasser Studios? What's that?
Nasser Studios was an American independent film production company established in 1946 by Edward and William Nasser. Edward had a thing for stop motion and dinosaurs. The logo is a blatant copy of the original 20th Century Fox logo, which was originally created and designed by Emil Cosa Jr. The difference is that it faces the opposite side as 20th. Another is that the searchlights are in front of the structure rather than on the side or behind. Plus, the original props such as the stairwell and stage are replaced with buildings.
That does sound very copy-like. What kind of major production company steals from another studio introduction sequence? That's just wrong.
Thing is, it didn't last very long. After the release of The Beast of Holy Mountain, NASA Studios was shut down. The film was so negatively reviewed that it bombed the studio.
Serves them right.
Honestly, suing Fox Corp would have been a better solution than rebranding 20th Century Fox. Sniper's right. Fox News shouldn't have done this to such a beloved production company. If Fox News hadn't gotten away with it, 20th Century Studios would still be going as 20th Century Fox.
This means we have to do something.
I suggest we give this message to Disney.
All in favor say aye, matey.
Motion carried.
Hello, boys. I had just gotten back from seeing For Love and Thunder.
Oh, hey, soldier, how was the movie?
Better than I expected. It really inspired me to want to go on adventures of my own. Don't worry, I'm leaving out spoilers.
I want to watch this film for myself. Spy offered to take me.
I sure did. I'm actually quite a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Thor's one of my favorite Marvel characters.
I like Falcon. I'm glad he's the new Captain America.
Heavy likes Black Widow. Heavy saw movie in theaters. If I recall, Scarlett Johansson sued Disney for release.
That's correct, Heavy. How did you know?
I could hear you and Soldier chatting about lawsuit and Fox merger.
I like Iron Man and Korg. Iron Man is a very busy character. Korg is just so much loose cannon.
I love Hawkeye. I like how he has the arrows. Reminds me of the valiant Robin Hood.
I am Groot.
Groot is a very adorable character. I love how I am Groot is all he says, even when it has different meanings.
I am Groot.
That's very funny, Medic. What inspired you to be like him?
I am Groot.
Can't get enough of this.
Why is Medic speaking like tree character?
Just messing with you. I was saying that because Groot is one of my favorite Guardians of the Galaxy. I saw trailers for the new Thor movie and I want to tag along.
Great. I just got back from watching it. Scout and Spy are going to see it.
K2 John, I hear it's a very impressive movie.
You know I really want to see it. I saw the first 3 Thor movies in theaters. I have a feeling this will be just as fun.
Then come along. I can't wait for this movie.
I hope you have fun, you three. You might like it.
Thank you, Soldier. This movie will be a game changer for me.